Dabo we saw where the chink in the armor is. And he has to prove it with Garrett Riley. And he may have learned his mistake from promoting within and the whole Clemson culture and all that kind of stuff of just, we have our guys. Like, he had the gift of continuity with Brent Venables, Jeff Scott, Tony Elliott for years and years and years. I think what we saw last year was like, there was an arrogance there of like, we can keep this thing rolling. And look, they had the gift of back-to-back all-time great college football quarterbacks in Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. And then we saw what happens when you don't have that at Clemson. And you didn't develop DJ Uiagalelei, who was a 5-star, and he might ball out at Oregon State this year with Jonathan Smith, which would be another thing where it's like, okay, that might not have been a DJ thing. That might have been a Clemson development thing. And they have shown that they are far more vulnerable than I think we might have anticipated before. Harbaugh, people were wondering about the recruiting. Remember? Like, Harbaugh was like, can he win the big one? Has he reached his point? He's like, I'll just go back-to-back beating Ohio State, drubbing Ohio State back-to-back. I'm going to play the style like the ground and pound. He's evolved. He's had all kinds of different offenses, different coordinators. He has been able to adapt with the game, adapt to his personnel, adapt to just where the sport is going. I think Harbaugh deserves a lot of credit for what he has built at Michigan. I mean, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards are going to be the best 1-2 running back punch in college football this year. He's got the 5-star quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. We'll see what he does there. He is innovative. He's like, I'll just start J.J. one week, Cade one week, and we'll see where it goes. I think he's at the top of his game right now. I think Jim Harbaugh, like, yeah, you lost TCU in the game and you got bombed by Georgia the year prior, but, like, that was a K-Bag. Like, he is maximizing Michigan year over year, and I think people overstate what Michigan is traditionally as a football program, and I think he's on his way to being the best Michigan coach of all time. So I would say Jim Harbaugh is above Dabo because he has proven that he can adapt. He has proven that he can, if he makes a bad hire or things go right, like, he can bounce back. He can bounce back from a down year. He beats the crap out of his rivals. Like, Clemson just got blasted by South Carolina. Like,
Was that the first time they lost to South Carolina in like 10 years?
But what I'm saying is, like, he hasn't sniffed the college football playoff since he lost Trevor Lawrence. Like, we're now at the point where it's like, you need to show that you can do it without the all-time great quarterback. Dabo, he's not like number 17 on my list. He's number 6. I'm just saying right now, if I'm picking who is a better coach in 2023, Jim Harbaugh is a better college football coach than Dabo Swinney.
There's also the fact, who's the third best quarterback in Clemson history? Is it Taj Boyd? Like,
it has to be Taj Boyd,
It probably is Taj Boyd. So maybe after a while, this is a Dabo thing. Like, you look at Dabo, his first year was 2009. As of 2009, do you want to know when Clemson's last double-digit win season was? If we're in having this conversation in 2009, the last double-digit season would have been 1990. They have now won double digits 12 years in a row. Like, I think we kind of forget how good they were for like 4 or 5 years before they made the playoff. And then they made the playoffs like 6 years in a row. We're in the national championship 4 out of 5 years also. Like, just an absurd run. And now their 2 bad seasons are back-to-back 10-3 and then 11-3, and you win the ACC. Like, I feel like the demise of Clemson is just very over-exaggerated. I think that's redundant, but I think Dabo is still right there. Like, if I'm taking like the guys I want to be the head coach at Georgia, he might not be near the top of the list, but just giving the guy just his respect for how good he is, I don't think you can really. Harbaugh has been there since 2015. It's not like he just got there, and he was good at Stanford, obviously good for the 49ers.
He went to the Super Bowl.
But Dabo has done more in the college game, without a doubt, than Harbaugh has.
It's
like
not
Michigan,
about the all-time list. It's about who's better right now. Our list is who's better right now.
I'm still taking Dabo. I'm still taking Dabo. He's got, like you said, Garrett Riley. He's going to come in and fix the offense this year. I think we're going to see Clemson bounce back and maybe be back in the playoff this year. We'll see.
I mean, Michigan's going for their 3rd straight playoff appearance.
Hey, Dabo had 6 straight. Anyone 2 natties in there. And that was
now.
These are 2 years. I mean, these last 2 years, Michigan has been better than Clemson. So, there is something to that. But I'm still liking where Dabo is.
Well, our 7 through 10 is pretty close. So I have Whittingham, Lincoln Riley, Josh Heupel, James Franklin at my 7 through 10. And you have, and your Heupel one.
My 6 through 10, who you have Luke Fickell, completely unranked on your list. Mm-hmm. I got him at 6, then Ryan Day 7, Kyle Whittingham 8, James Franklin 9, and Sonny Dykes at 10.
Yeah. Why are you comfortable? Because Fickell was hard for me because obviously he made the playoff with Cincinnati, and that was probably my most hot takey thing. But Fickell's done well. He's solid. I want to see what he does at Wisconsin. The coaches on my list, I've seen the big time where I'm I think I trust him more. I don't know with Fickell yet. For whatever reason, there's just something about it. I want to see what he does at Wisconsin before I prop him into one of the 25 best coaches right now. And I know that's very hot take because there's some on this list of people how do you do it? But I'm a lot of these coaches on my list, I'm more confident that they would win just about anywhere. I'm not as certain about Luke Fickell. It's not that I'm betting against him. I am very, very, very excited to see how he plays at Wisconsin. I mean, Phil Longo is his new OC. He's going air raid, out of nowhere. I don't know. There's all kinds of ways this Fickell tenure could go at Wisconsin. I don't know. We'll see. He was okay last year at Cincy. There was a drop-off. It wasn't like they were humming. They had the all-time great players with Desmond Ridder and Sauce Gardner and a lot of NFL dudes, and he deserves credit for developing them. But, I don't know. I think he's a little overrated. I have Luke Fickell as my most maybe overrated coach coming into the year, but I think he can silence a lot of doubters like me, depending on how he does at Wisconsin. He has a big opportunity.
Yeah, and Cincinnati coaches, obviously, they've had a good program with multiple coaches. He took over after the Tuberville years, so those weren't the best years of Cincinnati, and so he got them back to 11-2, 11-3, 9-1 in the COVID year. You can question the strength of schedule some of these years. 13-1, made a playoff. But yeah, you kind of said part of what my logic was that Cincinnati team with all those NFL players, I think they were third to Georgia and Alabama in terms of most players drafted in 2022. 9 guys drafted. It's that alone just speaks to the talent evaluator he is and the talent he was able to get at a place like Cincinnati. I think Wisconsin, you're automatically going to be getting a higher caliber of player. I think it's fair that, like we kind of just said, it's easier to rank guys higher when they've done it at multiple spots. We've only seen him at Cincinnati other than... He was never interim guy at Ohio State, was he?
He was for a little bit.
Yeah, so he had a couple games as the head coach. He had the
full year in 2011. Wasn't the year that Tressel was...
Oh, you're right. And then Urban...